Hello and welcome back to another smashing episode of No Sense for Nonsense. Today we're going to talk about Divergent 2, Insurgent. Cheers, listeners. Now, Insurgent is the story about Beatrice Prior, a woman who is a divergent. Something that is hated in theory by the community that she finds herself in. And Janine, the newfound leader of the faction system, will do whatever it takes to eradicate the evil divergence problem that threatens the faction system. Now, before I start this video, I will admit that I did think that the first Divergent wasn't a bad movie for me. And I said to myself, maybe this flick will be better than its predecessor. Because when I first reviewed the first Hunger Games, all the remarks that I made about that movie were corrected in the second Hunger Games. So I was expecting the same for Divergent 2. And did they make those corrections? No, they did the complete opposite. The first hour of this movie was so slow. There was just no pace, and I was beginning to ask myself, why don't they serve coffee at the cinema to keep us awake during these moments? Even the mini action scenes included in the first hour did nothing to change the situation. Plus, a lot of people have been saying that there is too much action in this movie, which I disagree with, because I think the dialogue is so stale that it doesn't support that philosophical image that this movie tries to portray. So the action scenes were necessary to keep the viewer interested, entertained in the movie. The characters were fairly bland, even the main character, Beatrice Prior. The actress was alright, but her character is depressing most of the time, and it actually gets under your skin. Honestly, the only 2 to 3 characters I liked, actually, who had a certain level of personality which was lacking in this flick. First, Peter. This guy is a twat, but a positive twat, who brings a certain level of spice of douchebaggery to the story. Miles Teller kills it as Peter, and I wish he had more screen time in this flick, because he was fun to watch. He was cool for most of the movie, but they actually ended up ruining his character in one snap. Second, Evelyn, a woman who has her own agenda, someone who's ready to fight and rise up against the oppression that is happening in the faction system. Also, pity we don't see more of her character either in the movie. Third, Kate Winslet's character, the evil Janine. And Kate Winslet is an awesome actress, and she played her role well, but it felt like she didn't really want to be there. But Janine was as devious, but not as convincing as she was in the first movie. But I'll also say that most of Divergent 2 was fairly predictable. When you make a film, it's supposed to challenge you and keep you guessing. You're not supposed to be able to anticipate the flick already from the start. The first movie was interesting because there was loss. There was a conquest. There was development. Here all we had was a typical young love relationship and almost nothing else. Sorry, but these type of movies make women seem weak, like in Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey, where a woman has to attach herself to a man to feel safe, to feel protected. They should have made Beatrice Prior stronger in Divergent 2, like they did with Katniss Everdeen in the second Hunger Games. You bring Black Mamba or Black Widow into this movie and I'll tell you the shit is on. Usually in a sequel, new characters appear so we can experience new character development. And the new characters, you don't really care about them. When we reach the second half of the film, the pace picks up, the movie becomes more and more interesting. Triss is in the devil's lair and has to face certain challenges to survive. You feel more tension, and at one time, something did happen that I didn't expect. But there was a moment where I said to myself, this flick reminds me of Maze Runner. It also reminds me of the Hunger Games. And now you see what Insurgent is. It's a movie that you've actually seen before, and what a disappointment. So in the end, I will say that Divergent 2, Insurgent, deserves not a simple, but a solid thumbs down. So listeners, did you like Insurgent and Divergent 1? Yes, no, and why? Do you believe that movies like this make women seem weaker? And who would win in an epic battle of Katniss Everdeen versus Beatrice Prior? Leave a comment down below and spread the nonsense. So listeners, thank you for listening. So until next time, keep nonsensical.